Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you back to Gravity Throttle Racing, and we continue with the group racing of the Baja Bouncer Invitational. My name is Aaron Take.
And this is Richard Gere. Hey, race fans, last time we were with you, we watched Strike and Dusty Miles prevail and come through in the group racing. They're going to be moving on. Who's going to move on this time? We've got 4 more competitors. Aaron, would you introduce them, please?
Coming to us from Texas and representing Puerto Rico is Polo Racing and Marco.
Polo!
And now, the number 23 seed from Blue Line Racing is Rez, driving that number 22, and he is from Connecticut. The Lone Star from Live Young Diecast also comes from Texas, and he is the number 24 seed. And finally, way out there in Australia yet again, from the land down under, Ross Rodden from Rodden Racing is driving the number 45 Baja Bouncer.
Very good, Aaron. All right, race fans, take a look at them. Just a beautiful lineup today. 2 from Texas, 1 from overseas, 1 from the East Coast, and they're getting ready for race 1. Here they go. The outside lanes look good, and right now the Texan Lone Star has the lead, going onto the drift, a little bit hard in, and there's quite a battle going on, and it's Rez in the lead on the Joker lane. Coming down, Lone Star's a little bit caught behind, and Rez is just zooming down runway 3 in the lead and spinning around. Here come the other drivers, but they're not going to catch him as he enters the scrambler. And twice through, he's finished. Lone Star has not. Here comes Ross. He does a nice job avoiding the accident. Ooh, Marco Polo just pushed Lone Star through, and he'll take 4th.
And race fans, let's go back here and take a look at some of the exciting action on the instant replay package. We begin with Rez that pulled out ahead of Marco Polo on the Joker lane, and Lone Star gets a little slowed up but comes through. Now the train smoke is so thick we can't see anything going on the runway, but you'll see here that Marco Polo spins out twice. Lone Star passes him, and so does Ross Rodden. Now in the end, Lone Star does get pushed through for 3rd place, but the leader after 1 race is Rez from Blue Line Racing.
The key at Shavano Mountain Raceway is consistency, and we've got Ross Rodden on the inside here, Marco Polo, then Rez, and the Lone Star on the outside, and Rez has a quick and early lead, and Ross Rodden has crashed out already over the creek jump. Here comes Rez, first onto Mesa Butte. Wow, he's backwards now, and look at that gorgeous drift by Lone Star, who's now caught up to Rez. He is really pushing him under the tunnel, and now here comes Marco Polo, and Marco Polo is trying to make inroads, but he cannot. Oh, and it looks like Rez got a little beat up around the big U. Lone Star is going to come in 1st place. And here comes Rez in for 2nd. That's it.
Race fans, race number 2 began with an unfortunate tragedy for Mr. Ross Rodden, just coming in a little cockeyed, and that suspension isn't very forgiving, so he tumbled over quickly. And man, look at Lone Star just push his way, pushing Rez, but I love how Marco Polo is trying to get in there as well. Now, here's what we didn't see on the backside of the big U. That's pretty amazing how Rez managed to flip back over, and that actually brought Marco Polo's run to an end as Rez leads with 7.
I like the spirit of this racing so far, Aaron.
Oh, Richard, I do too.
It is great to see, rubbing and racing some pretty exciting action as race 3 is underway. A good start by Marco Polo and Rez. And now Marco Polo pulls out in the lead with Lone Star in the lead on the Joker lane. Uh-oh, a little bit slowed up is Marco Polo, and Rez has spun out on the Mesa Butte. Here comes Lone Star taking the lead. He's been nice and straight down the runway, and Marco Polo is keeping it together as well. Okay, 1 and 2. Marco Polo is 2nd. Oh, and Ross Rodden has crashed. He was backwards.
I'm not sure how he got backwards, but we'll take a look here on the instant replay package. But first, take a look at Rez. Rez got turned around a little too much, over drifting, and stuck on Mesa Butte. There's Ross, and as he makes his way down the runway, at the end there, he got spun around, entering the big U. We saw before that the suspension was pretty unforgiving, and there's a good reason why he had trouble. After 3 races, it's Lone Star that leads with 10.
Rez is now closest to us, and it's Lone Star right next to him. That ought to make for an interesting race. Keep your eyes on them. There's the green light. It's a really good start by all the drivers, and Rez pulls out, and so does... Oh, wow! Ross just tumbled, and looking good is Marco Polo. Rez is pulled out fast. Quickly, he comes around the sharp right turn. He's going to take the lead. Boy, we've seen him carry on with good speed, and look at that! As Lone Star bullied his way into second place, here comes Rez down and sliding through. There's 1, 2, and 3. What a competition those three are making.
That was definitely a nice showing by Rez. Now watch carefully as Ross just flips right over into the outside lane. He is actually shimmying from the left side to the right side of the track, and then his wheel gets caught, and over the Burma snow he goes. It's hard to tell why this is happening to him, but Lone Star doesn't have that problem. He has found the secret to consistency here at Shavano Mountain Raceway. With a second place finish, he now leads with 13 points. Rez is looking awfully fast and has 11.
Now remember, race fans, these are the two bottom seeds, and they are impressive. Harvey, oh, Billy, hold my beer, guys.
It's time for Marble Sucker.
All right, race fans, Sean from Midwest Diecast is closest to us. Buffalo from Rust Belt Diecast is next to him, and there's Billy. Now that Billy is in his soapbox derby therapy car that Dr. Dodge had ordered him to ride twice a day, and there he goes, pushed out. Now the only one remaining is Buffalo, and Blue Marble is leading. Wow, this is crazy. Hey, you know, Aaron, that music is awfully boring.
I've got something just for you, Richard.
Huh. Oh, okay, that's enough. Whew. I've totally lost my wherewithal. What's going on?
Well, shortly after the race started, Sean tipped over after the creek jump, and he never got to push his Blue Marble. But now Buffalo got to push his Green Marble, but look what happened. The Blue Marble, well, the Hold My Beer guys put the marbles in the wrong lane, so the race was a bust. Now, Billy was doing a nice job following Dr. Dodge's orders, riding in his soapbox derby therapy car, but it threw him out because it hit one of our flags.
Aaron, this whole recovery business is not going to work.
Oh no, Dr. Dodge said that's just a normal setback and Billy will be up and back to 100% in just a matter of days.
Aaron, I'll believe it when I see it. Here we go, the green light, race 5. The 3 on the outside are looking good, and there goes Rez pulling out in the lead. It is Lone Star first onto the drift pad. But look at Rez. Once again, Rez is flying along, and I think he's in the lead. Right behind him is Lone Star, but Rez just... Careful there, Rez! Oh, and he spins around, but now everybody is spinning and coming to a stop as Rez pulls on to... Oh, now he's back up, and he's through the finish line in first. Who's coming down in second? It's going to be Lone Star, and third will go to Marco Polo.
That's twice now that Rez has flipped upside down, and because his weight is low, he's right back up on his wheels. Now check out Lone Star. He backs his way around, but over the train he goes. It's Ross Rodden that lands awkwardly and slides to a stop. Now on the runway, things get kind of slippery.
Are you adding that, Aaron?
Yeah, watch this.
Oh, brother. Aaron, these are real racers. Please give them some respect.
All right. Anyway, the race slows up to a taxi drive crawl, but it is Rez with 4 points in the win. However, Lone Star gets a point over the train, and he leads with 17.
There are only 3 races that remain, and Ross Rodden has only one more try over the train. Marco Polo will get 2 tries. They're closest to us on the inside lanes, but they have got a lot of ground to catch up. Oh, and Ross has already slid out. Whoa, there goes Rez. He's out after the small jump in the snow, and we have a 2-horse race, and it looks like it's going to be very close. Lone Star is looking good, and here comes Marco Polo, and he does pull out. Wow, he pulls out on the lead and just creates havoc for Lone Star. Here he makes his way around. Marco Polo going to finish. He does. And look at that. Lone Star comes in for second place.
Well, race fans, it has been a tough day for Ross Rodden, and here he comes over the jump and just knocks himself sideways. He's had trouble on the inside lane. Now take a look here as Rez also shimmies and gets caught up in the ledge of snow over the jump, and he's out. No interference to Marco Polo as the race continues, and Marco Polo is just dishing it out right back at Lone Star here. Marco Polo comes in first, and this is key. It puts him, as you can see in the scorecard, just 3 points behind Rez. 2 races remain. Lone Star seems to be firmly established.
Well, and nobody can go to sleep right now. All three of these drivers that are vying for 2 spots have to be on their A game. We've got Lone Star here on the inside. Up for extra points in lane 2. Oh, and Lone Star just crashed. In lane 2 is Marco Polo, but look at Rez on the outside. He's got the lead. Nicely done. There is Marco Polo backing around, and he's going to make it over the train just barely as Rez continues to fire away down runway 3. Look at that, smooth as can be around the big U. Rez has got to keep going, and he flips over, but he's through the finish line. He will collect 4 points. Here comes, Marco Polo, and oh my goodness, Ross Rodden is not able to finish.
Well, race fans, this has truly been an exciting race, and just when we thought Lone Star was on his way to the finish, he crashes over on the inside lane as well, over the creek jump. Now the other 3 drivers are motoring down, and there is Ross Rodden. He continues to make every effort to come down. After spinning and crashing, but going through the finish line, Rez, with an extra point over the train and a first place finish, has 20. Lone Star leads with 21, but look at Marco Polo with 16.
Okay, race fans, this is it. Race number 8.
Hey, Richard, I challenge you not to say a single word during the race.
Oh, challenge accepted.
Okay, don't say a word. Don't say a word. Richard?
Marco Polo.
Richard?
He's got the same amount of points as Rez. Oh, gosh, I guess I failed.
You failed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the last replay. It begins with Lone Star losing it on the right side. He will not get any points, but the big surprise is Rez crashing around the first turn in the snow. Now this leaves Marco Polo and Ross Rodden to collect the lion's share of the points. Ross does an amazing job, even in reverse. We've seen him have trouble, but he comes down, taking the win for 4 points. But it's Marco Polo with a second place finish and a jump over the train, and he will bring about a sudden death race-off.
Oh, and race fans, I cannot contain myself. That was just too exciting. Look at the way Marco Polo executed the drift the last time around. Wow. Now this is the sudden death race-off, but first, technically it's not a sudden death. It's the best 2 of 3. Who's going to be the first to win 2 races? Rez, being the one who had the most first place finishes on... Oh, and Marco Polo's crashed out. Now Rez is in the drift lane, which can give you faster, quicker times. It's the shorter of the 2 courses, as long as you have a good drift. And now he's on to runway 3. Again, if Rez can finish this race, he will be up by 1. Oh, nicely done as he zooms down. That's 1 race in the book. Here we are with race 2, and fans, this time Rez is in the Joker lane, which is a little bit longer, and it is Marco Polo in the drift lane. Here he goes. Marco has a lead. Marco's keeping the lead. Is Marco going to be able to bring it up? 1-1. He's got a good drift, and he's coming around. Wow, Rez is awfully fast. This is going to be close. Race fans, through the S-turns, Marco Polo goes, and Rez has got the lead on runway 3. He's holding that lead. He hasn't spun out. Here he comes down the scrambler. He's spinning around but coming through, and Rez will take the second win and move on.
Race fans, I'm pretty sure that Richard has passed out. We will take a minute here, and we want to thank Marco Polo as well as Ross Rodden for participating in today's group race.
Oh boy, I hope the excitement doesn't kill me. You know what, Group 6, it's coming up soon with the Filipiak cousins, who are the 11 and 12 seed. Then we've got Janabi with Janabi Racing, and finally Lucas with EP Videos.
Are you tracking?